Sing it!
What's up, everybody? I'm Daniel Rodriguez, aka Big D. It's time to review another movie. This time it's the latest installment into the Maze Runner franchise, the second installment out of 3. There's a third one coming in 2017. This movie stars Dylan O'Brien. This movie also stars Aidan Gillen. I may get that right, from Game of Thrones, Littlefinger, and has, of course, some of the main cast from the Maze Runner 1 coming in for this one. So this movie is directed by Wes Ball, the same man who directed the Maze Runner 1 and then doing the third one in 2017. Ladies and gents, this is a non-spoiler review. Just going to give you the pros and cons, tell you whether or not you should go see the movie in theaters or wait for the rental or never even see it at all. Here it is, the non-spoiler review for Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials. Let's get started with the pros first. The opening of this movie is deliciously... It's not bad at all. The opening is delicious. It's entertaining. The first half of this movie is the best part of the movie, honestly, to me. The first 20 to 30, 40 minutes was gold. It had a few problems every now and then, but out of the whole hour, it's like a 2-hour and 12-minute movie, the first 40 minutes are the ones that stand out to me the most, and that's most memorable, and that most gets to you, and of what's going on in the characters' minds. The directing, Wes Ball, I believe that he was awesome, and I don't remember Maze Runner of the directing, the Maze Runner of the first one a lot, but he's back, and the angles and the camera angles that go on and the action, there's a lot of chasing. Let me tell you that 60% of this movie is our characters running. Just like in the Maze Runner, they ran a lot. They're running in here, baby. But the way the camera angle is, the way that sometimes it's shaky, and I don't like that. That's one of the, it shakes sometimes, the camera. But when it's just following them and it's steady, it makes it more, you could see the action going on more. I remember there's a shot where they're running up escalators and you could see it a wide angle in the area that they're at, and it was beautiful to me. I was like, that looks great, the way that he's directing it. So I do enjoy Wes Ball's directing. It's not like directing of the year, but I think for what he does, it definitely works out well. There's no shots where I was like, that's stupid or not. It actually captured each character, captured what it needed to capture, and the city and everything is what I should say. Jorge, there's this character named Jorge who is played by Giancarlo Esposito, and he of course played Gus in Breaking Bad. So I was like, I remember he was in the movie, and when I saw it, I was like, yes, dude. His character Jorge is awesome. Let me just tell you that much. His character is really cool. It's a good add-on to the movie, honestly. His character, the way it's written and the way that he portrays it, I love his acting. I loved him in Breaking Bad, and he's good in this. He's just a great actor overall, and I wish I could see even more things in Hollywood nowadays. I wish I could see even more movies, but I guess he just takes it slow and tries to pick projects that make sense. So Maze Runner, I guess, made sense to him. Some effects in here. Now, I'm 50-50 on this. Some of the effects are really good. Some of the effects are really bad. Not bad like Transformers Age of Extinction bad, but I mean they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm not really digging that effect, or else yeah, I'm into it. Some of the effects work really well, like some of the building effects. Sometimes some of the building effects are a little shaky, a little bit a little blurry. But other than that, some of the effects work very well. The cranks. If you read the book, I won't explain what the cranks are, but let's just say that they're enemies in here. And I like the idea. I like the idea of the cranks in here. They're basically like, if you played The Last of Us, the villains, that's basically what's in this movie. And the look, it's brilliant. I like the look, and I like how they're kind of like plantish and everything, and that's the cool thing. But I'll get to my cons on why the cranks is, why I didn't like the cranks as much. Aidan Gillen as Jansen. He's sort of like not the main, but he's one of the villains in this movie. And of course, Littlefinger. I never survived a day in the Scorch Sansa. Just the way that he portrayed it. I like him, the actor, and his role itself wasn't very delicious, I guess I should say. It wasn't tasty enough for my taste buds, but the way that he played it, and the way that he, is cool and everything. And I just gotta ask you one question, Thomas. What did you think of Wicked? Just the way that he does everything, it was very interesting in seeing how, just to see how it all unfolds. He's not in the movie that much, but for what he does, I really do enjoy his character. This is for movie nerds only. If you set pieces, that's it. I just gotta say the set pieces. always about these young adult young adult book movies that adapt, like books to adapt movie. The set pieces on here are a little bit more noticeable than set pieces, say, for like Marvel movies, because they jump around everywhere. So the set pieces in here are a little bit more closed, and you can feel like you're on the set of the movie. Just a little nerd thing there. I love the set pieces for this movie. Again, the first half, like I said, there's a character named Marcus, played by Alan Tudyk. He was freaking awesome again. Drink it! Just the way he played his character, it was pretty something else, man. Alan Tudyk, man. Hey, gentlemen, Alan Tudyk. Can we just say that right now? Marcus, the character. If you do see the movie, he's one of my faves. It's a really stupid story in that area of the movie, but just Marcus, the character himself, was really brilliant. Other than that, some of the action, the running, and that's it. Those are the pros. Now to the cons. I'm sorry, I got a lot of stuff to say, so that's why I'm not professional. Like, I don't want to forget stuff, man. So sorry for that. The action in here, some of the action. Yeah, there's some gun action, but it's not really. Really, when I'm watching it, there's nothing to grab onto. Is like, oh yeah, just boom, boom, boom. It's kind of like, if you're like 10, maybe you'll like but if you're like, okay, like. More of the action is running than gunning, It's more of that. It's more of a running action than anything. Sometimes hand-to-hand combat, but not that much. So some of the action in here I felt like they tried, but I just couldn't get into it. I really do enjoy the Maze Runner 1. I'm actually surprised, like I said, for Divergent, that I don't own the movie. I gotta own the movie soon. I gave it a B+ last year. And it's in the same journal. So, yeah. So I was like, oh man, like, the action was pretty good for the first one, and this one, the action didn't really get me as much as, it should have. Some of the effects in here, like the crank, they're not practical effect. The crank, they're like, they're all CGI, literally. Maybe some of them practical, I'm not sure, but 80% of the cranks were CGI. They weren't real. They were just computerized, and I was like, oh, it would make it more fun, more scary if they were played by real, like, just the idea of, like, it was kind of like, wow, like, okay, there's some sort of zombified things in this world now, like, okay, that's kind of weird, so, I didn't know that because I didn't read the book, but then again, I was like, that's cool, and I like the idea, but then again, the CGI look to it just brought it down. I was like, no, I don't believe it. I wish it was more practical so you feel more real there. What am I saying? The emotion. They've tried to produce some emotion in this movie. It didn't work for me. Maybe because I probably should have watched The Maze Runner like a few days ago in order to get all the characters' like emotion more better. But the emotion in here, there's no parts that got me, per se. Like, if you haven't seen The Maze Runner, you gotta see The Maze Runner and then see this one first. So I don't recommend you to just jump into the Scorch Trials. You gotta watch the first one first and then watch this one. They ended, you know how movies end. Sometimes they end on cliffhangers. They ended it really well, and then it continued. It literally continued for another 2-3 minutes, and I was like, and then it ended on a cliffhanger again. Cliffhanger. It's like, what? Just end on one cliffhanger. You don't need to do another cliffhanger. Like, seriously, it's really... all I'm saying is the ending, the last ending, didn't work for me. I wish they could have just ended the way that it did. It would have been perfect. The third act, I'm not a big fan of the third act. That's where it kind of got a little bit more wild and loosey and goosey, and I kind of just felt like we should have just stayed on track. It's almost repetitive how Thomas always wants to save someone, and it's like, dude, just give up. Stop saving every single person. I mean, literally, it gets sometimes repetitive over Thomas. Like, Thomas, he's a cool character sometimes, and then you're just kind of like, no, Thomas, just die. That's just how it gets sometimes. Teresa, the character, gosh, she's really annoying in this movie, honestly. After a while, what Teresa does in this movie and everything, and Thomas, where's Teresa? It's like, oh, stop it, dude. Stop. You guys don't even match together, so just literally, stop, man, literally. Anyway, it loses its way, and it's a very cliched movie. I know I sound like I'm crapping on this movie. I'm not. I'm just saying, very cliched. Hey, check this out, guys. Over here. It's like, it's so cliched. It just felt like wasn't really. There are some creative moments. Not really sometimes, but other than that, it just feels like parts of these movies I've seen already before. The villain in this movie, there's just a few villains in here, and it doesn't work out. I like Aidan Gillen, the actor, but his villain per se role wasn't really nothing scary, wasn't nothing impactful. You kind of felt like, because he's not there throughout the whole movie, and it's kind of like, what's the point of you being a villain if you're not really going to be there the whole movie or try to stop them? You never really even attempted. You just kind of were just on a helicopter. And other than that, there are a lot of slow scenes. This movie had the potential to be great. The first 40 minutes, awesome. And then stuff happened, and then it downgraded and downgraded and downgraded and downgraded. Downgraded again. It's not a bad movie. I enjoyed myself during this movie. I had my friend with me. We were laughing. I wouldn't recommend seeing it alone. Have your friends with you. Have your family, someone with you. If you watch it alone, it may be a little bit boring, so watch it with someone. Overall, I'm going to give Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials a C+, a 7.75 out of a 10. Is it worth watching in theaters? If you're a Maze Runner fan, and if you have not seen the movie yet, yes, go see the movie, because Maze Runner fans, like I said, it's not a bad movie. I know I sound like I crapped on it. It's a C+. But those who've seen the Maze Runner and enjoyed the first one, yeah, you'll enjoy this one. Part of it, at least. But if you haven't seen the Maze Runner, go see the first one. Wait for this one on DVD. Wait for rental, honestly, for this one. I would go see Everest if I were you guys. And more, you got two stories, Black Mass, and then you got Everest, and then you got this, which is more sci-fi, young adult book movie. So you pick your choice, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Again, it's C+, 7.75 out of a 10. It's an okay movie. It could have been great, then it went to good, and then it just went to okay. It's just an okay movie overall. Had good moments, had some great moments, had some great acting in there, but overall at the end, it's just okay. Thanks so much again for watching. Like I said, comment down below. Let me know what did you think about Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials. I'll be seeing you next sometime this week for Eli Roth's The Green Inferno. Until next time, hopefully all of you enjoyed. The next Maze Runner is set to come out February 2017. Good to Spock be with you always. How's it going, everyone? I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to also check out my other videos. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews. I do also game reviews and game unboxings, movie unboxings. I do a movie podcast, a superhero podcast, much, much more. So go ahead and check out the channel. Thanks for watching again. See you all next time.